Tell us a little bit about how far-reaching the FBI's efforts to censor speech in the world, and particularly in the United States, has been. You've probably seen more of it than anyone else.
Well, we've got 20,000 pages of documents. We've conducted numerous depositions, and we've only just begun to scratch the surface. You know, my fear, and I think it's backed up by the evidence, is that this goes much broader, much more. It extends much more broadly than we had originally anticipated. That's why it's so important to keep pushing this lawsuit forward. And I'll say, you know, the federal government is not allowed to do it through a third party what it's prohibited from doing directly. In other words, it can't outsource its censorship. That's still government censorship. The government is still the proximate cause of that censorship. It's the unbroken chain from the government demand to the censorship. And so the censorship you're describing would still be violative of the First Amendment. And certainly that's what we see in our case involving big tech, is that the federal government was coercing and colluding with big tech to actually achieve the censorship objectives. The court has identified it as a vast censorship enterprise. And our fear is that the nerve center has now been housed in the Department of Homeland Security and the Cyber Security and Infrastructure Security Administration. And the director of CISA has said, look, we deal with software and bridges, but there's a neurological infrastructure as well. So now our brains are subject to censorship, according to federal officials. And the frightening part is the Department of Homeland Security was an agency created in the wake of 9/11 to protect us from foreign attack. It's now being weaponized against Americans' right to free speech and a betrayal of our trust and values.
Yeah.